If any of you have any questions, you can always raise your hand and we'll allow you to unmute.
Okay, so question 21. We have an equation in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So in this case, we're asked, the equation has no real solution. What is the greatest possible value of b? We know that for quadratic type equations, there's no solution if the discriminant, which would just be negative for a c plus b squared, has to be negative. So this has to be less than 0. So in this case, we have both a and c. So a is just -1 and c is -676. So we can just plug in for a and c. This would just be positive 676 times -4. That would get us negative 2,704 plus b squared has to be less than 0. Add to both sides, and we get uh, b squared has to be less than 2,704. We then have to just take the square root of both sides. So in this case, we have b is less than square root of 2,704. Which you can just put into your calculator, should be 52. So in that case, what is the greatest possible value of b? Well, b is less than 52. It can't be equal to that. So the greatest possible value would be 51. Because we're told it's a positive integer. And it can't be equal. So it has to be less than. So the answer is 51. Okay, question 22. Okay, so for this question, we have a graph, and we're told we have two lines already, which have a solution at 8, 2, and we're told if we add another line, how many solutions XY will the resulting system of three equations have? Well, if we have three lines, for it to be considered a solution to the system of equations, they would all have to pass through the exact same point at some point. So in this case, the only possible value it could be is here. So we just have to check this point in this equation. So in this case, we have x is 8 plus 4y is 2. So 4 times 2 is 8 equals negative 16. 16 equals negative 16. This is false. So that means this equation does not pass through this point, which means that the resulting system of equations has zero solutions. Okay. Question 23. Okay, so for question 23, we have uh, a function, and we're asked for the decrease in years. So in this case, for these type of functions, we know that if this value here is 1, it means that there was no change every year, and any values greater than it means that it increased, and any values lower than 1 mean that it decreased. So in this case, it's 64% of the original value every time this changes, and this specifically asks for decrease, so we just have to do 100% minus 64%, minus 64% to get 36% as the amount it decreases by each year. So the correct answer is C. And this is the time is in X months of use, so 12 months over 12 is just 1, so that's why it's per year. Okay, question 24. Okay, so question 24. We're told we have a dot plot, and we're told that another data set is created by adding 56 to each of the values in set A. So in this case, all of these values would just be increased by 56. This becomes 22 plus 56, or all of these just plus 56. So in this case, both the mean and the median would increase by 56, and the range would still stay the same. The highest value minus the lowest value will still be the same range. So in this case, median is equal, no. The median is equal, no. The median of data set B is greater than, sure, and the range is equal, yes, that is correct. And then this one, greater than, and the range is greater than, that's not true. Range is just the largest value minus the smallest value, and since we're increasing them both by the same amount, the total changes. Total distance between them doesn't change. Okay, question 25. Okay, so for question 25, we have an equation for a circle. So in this case, equations for circles are usually just x minus h squared, plus y minus k squared equals radius squared, with the center just being h comma k. So in this case, h would just be 0, and k is just positive 1 because it's y minus k. So the current center is at positive 1, and we're told we are shifting circle A down 2 units. So that would just mean we take this, and for the y value, we subtract 2. So we get 0 comma negative 1. And then we just plug back in. So x is the same. And then for y, minus 1, well, negative negative means positive. So this would just be y plus 1. squared, and r squared stays the same, so 49. And then the x also stays the same, so still just x squared plus. So the correct answer is D. This would be shifting it up 2 units. These two would be shifting left or right. Okay, question 26. Okay, so for question 26, we have two rectangular prisms that are identical. So I'm just going to draw this. So this is rectangular prism 1. And then we have another one that is just identical. And height of 90. So this is 90. Base is a square. So let's just say this is X and this is size X. And we're told that the prisms are glued together along a square base. So let's say they glue them together here. And we're told that the resulting prism has a surface area of 92 over 47K centimeters squared. What is the side length of each square base? So basically, what is X? So the first thing we have to do is we know that um, we have double the surface area. When we glue them together, we just take the surface area and we multiply by 2. But then because we're gluing it together on these two square areas, we have to subtract the two square areas from that total. So we can say that, and we're also told that the surface area is K. So that's what this K is. So we can just write this as 2K minus the two surface areas of the squares that are now glued together that are now no longer surface areas because they are inside the new resulting figure. So this would just be minus 2x squared because x squared is the size of this surface and we have two of them that are glued together. And this is equal to the total area, which is just 92 over 47K. And so now we just need to simplify. So in this case, we can convert all of these, and I'm going to move this to the left as well. So 2K becomes 94 over 47K. This we can just move to the left, so that's minus 92 over 47K. Minus 2x squared is equal to 0. And then Um, we subtract, so this would just get us 2 over 47K, because 94 minus 92 is 2, is equal to, so we add 2x squared to both sides, that gets us just 2x squared. And simplifying, we divide both sides by 2, so these 2 cancel out, and then multiply both sides by 47, so we just get k is equal to 47x squared. And so now we need to solve for k. So in this case, this is 90, these two are x. So in this case, the original size would just be, or the original, what's it called? Uh, Surface area would just be 4 and then times 90 times x, so 90x, because 90 times x gives us this surface here, and we have 4 of those for the 4 sides of the rectangular prism. And then we have the base, which is just x times x, so which is just plus x squared. It's plus x squared. And then, hold on. So this should be 2x squared because we also have the backside for the original equation. So we have 4 times 90x plus 2x squared is equal to k. So that is the original surface area of the prism. So we can substitute this in for here. So we just get 4 times 90x plus 2x squared is equal to 47x squared. We can then multiply this out and subtract 2x squared from both sides. So that just gets us 45x squared is equal to 360x. Then we bring both to the right side, so I just write 40. That's not work. So 45x squared minus 360, 360x. And then we can substitute x out of the equation. So we just have x, and then we have 45x minus 360. That means one of the solutions for x is 0, but that wouldn't make sense. So we have to find the other solution of x. So we have 45x minus 360 is equal to 0. So we can add 360 to both sides and then divide by 45 in order to get x is equal to 8. And then using that, we know that the side length is x, which is equal to 8. So the correct answer is B. Side length is 8. Okay. Question 27. Okay, so for question 27, we have 210 is p% greater than So in this case, it's not asking what percent of, it's asking what percent of greater than 30. So what is log of P? So in this case, we have 30 times, and then we have some value. So greater than means we just have to do. I don't really want to work with decimals, so we're just going to work with numerical values equals to 10. This 10 is just because I don't want to work with hundreds as well. So we have just divided it by 10. So in this case, we take 30 divided by 30, and then that gets us 70 equals 10 plus x. Subtract 10 from both sides, we get 60 is equals to x. And then because I divided by 10 here, we need to multiply by 10 here to get 600%. So realistically, this is 100% plus x, but I divide by 10, so it's easier to work with. The correct answer is 600%. Or when you enter it on the SAT, you just put 600 because you can't put percent on there. But yeah. Okay. Right, we're moving on to another SAT. This is question 1 now. Okay, so for question 1, that's what is the solution to the system of equations? So in this case, the solution's right here at 4, 5. So correct answer is C. Okay, question 2. Okay, so for question 2, on the first day of the semester, we're told they have 90 members. Each day after, 10 more join. How many is it 4 days after, if not leave? So 90 plus 10 times 4 is 40 plus 90 is 130. So correct answer is B. Okay, question 3. Okay, so question 3, we're asked what is the y-intercept of the graph of f. So in this case, it would just be here. The y-intercept is where x is 0, so it's just 0, comma 8. Our answer choice D. Okay, question 4. Okay, someone asked why did I go to easy question? Just because this is the next SAT. So generally speaking, how SATs work is that the first few questions on the SAT are very easy, and then they get harder the higher the question number is generally. So question numbers that are higher, like 18 or 19 plus, are generally much more difficult. That's why. And we finished the last SAT, so that's why we're back to easy ones. Okay, so question 4, we're asked for a solution of this equations. We have r equals 3, so we just plug in s plus 7 times 3 equals 27. 21 equals 27, subtract 21, that gets us s is equal to 6. So r is 3, so 3 comma 6. So the correct answer is B. Okay, question 5. So question 5. What is the description of the function? 16, 17, 18, 19. They increase by 1 every time, and we increase x by 1 every time, so it's a slope of 1, which is linear. So, and it's also increasing from 16 to 19. So the correct answer is increasing linear for answer is B. Okay, 6. Okay, so question 6, the graph of system equations is shown. Solution is x, y, so solution is right here. 4 comma 1. What is the value of x? The answer is 4. Okay, question 7. Okay, so for question 7, what is the range? Range is largest minus smallest, so 52 is the largest, and the smallest is 23. So 52 minus 23 is 29. So correct answer is 29. Okay, question 8. Okay, so for question, what is this, 8? Um, we have two parallel lines and a line that intersects. So when intersection point, we know that these two are equal. We know that these two are equal. We also know that these two are equal and these two are equal. So in this case, which of the following statements is true? Well, angle x should just be equal to 145. So this is C. Okay, question 9. Okay, question 9, x plus y equals 1540. And we're given 670 minutes of daylight, how many minutes of non-daylight? So just find the other variables. In this case, 670 plus whatever the other variable is, doesn't really matter, equals 1440. Subtract 670 from both sides, and that gets us, so minus 670 minus 670 is 0, 7, and 7. So 770. Correct answer is B. Okay, question 10. Okay, so this question, selected 20 at random, found 16 R, so 16 out of 20, and total is 400. So 16 out of 20, well, this is 80%. So what's 80% of 400? Actually, a simple way would just be doing 80 out of 100, and then this you just multiply by 4. That gets us 320 out of 400. So the correct answer is 320. Or answer choice B. Okay, question 11. Okay, so question 11. 4x minus 28 equals negative 24, but it's value of x minus 7. Let's just simplify, divide all everything by 4. That gets us x minus 28 divided by 4 is 7. And then negative 24 divided by 7 is negative 6. So what is the value of x minus 7? X minus 7 equals negative 6. So correct answer is C. Okay, 12. Okay, question 12. Snowstorm, minimum 0.6, maximum 1.8. It's somewhere between there, so 0.6 less than x less than equals to 1.8. So the correct answer is D. Okay, question 13. Okay, so for this question, y equals 4x, y equals x squared minus 12. So 4x, we just substitute 4x equals x squared minus 12. 0 equals x squared minus 4x minus 12. Solve, this would just be x minus 6 and x plus 2. Because negative 6 times positive 2 is negative 12, and negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4. So then x is equal to 6 and negative 2. And we're told x is greater than 0, so the correct answer here is 6. Okay. And question 14. Okay, so question 14. We're told different size of blueberries. Sales is this. We have equation. X is small container sold, Y is large container sold. For numbers, what is the price for each of the smaller containers? Well, smaller containers is in this X, so the price would be 4.51. And then question 15. So question 15, diameter 22, so that means radius is half of that, or 11. And circle is what, pi r squared h for cylinder, so just pi, radius is 11 squared times height of 6. So that's 121 times 6, which is 726 pi. Let's try C.